Hi friends, ഞാനിന്ന് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പഠിപ്പിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത് Sem1 BA Complementary Course 1 Political Science University of Kerala Module 3 Political Ideologies and Concepts. അതിലെ ചാപ്റ്റേഴ്സ് ലിബറലിസം, മാർക്സിസം, ഗാന്ധിസം, ഡെമോക്രസി ത്തിന്റെ എക്സാം പാറ്റേൺ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ ആൻസേഴ്സ് ആണ് അന്ന് ഈ വീഡിയോയിൽ കാണിക്കാൻ പോകുന്നത്. അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് തുടങ്ങാം. ആദ്യത്തെ ചോദ്യം elaborate the basic principles of Gandhism or write an essay on the basic principles of Gandhism or significance of Gandhian ideology in the contemporary political system. ഇത് 15 മാർക്കിന് ചോദിക്കാം. ഓരോ പ്രിൻസിപ്പൽസും 4 മാർക്കിനോ 2 മാർക്കിനോ 1 മാർക്കിനോ ചോദിക്കാം. The basic principles of Gandhism are philosophical anarchism. Gandhism may be placed in the category of philosophical anarchism because he criticizes the nature and character of political authority and supports an ideal society which does not use force. The philosophical anarchism of Gandhi can be seen in these directions: criticism of the state, rejection of parliamentary democracy, appreciation of Ram Rajya. Non-violence or ahimsa. One of the important contribution of Gandhiji is the concept of non-violence or ahimsa. He was able to transform this idea into a successful method of direct mass action. Gandhiji proved that ahimsa is the only solution way to bring about a successful revolution. Non-violence is the weapon of strong and not of weak. Satyagraha. Satyagraha is a moral pressure for the sake of truth. The main features of Satyagraha are: it is the operation of sole force against all forms of injustice and oppression. The practice of Satyagraha requires self discipline. The operation of Satyagraha is a twofold blessing. It blesses both the killer and killed. Satyagraha is the weapon of the strong and not of the weak. The practice of Satyagraha may take any form as strike, non-cooperation, dharna, fasting, civil disobedience, non-payment or black taxes, not taking part in official functions, boycott of foreign goods and hijarat. Trusteeship: it is the system of trusteeship which desires that property should be under the control of a private person, but he should regard himself as its protector, not the master. Trusteeship desires that any extra wealth should be kept in trust. It also implies an ideal of economic equality in the ideal state. However, he says that more talented people have a right to keep greater amount of wealth than the society has claims on it. The owners of property, example capitalist landlords, must recognize this claim. They must hold property as a trustee on behalf of the many. Ends and means. Gandhiji insists that as the means, so is the end. In his words, the means may be likened to a seed, the end to a tree, and there is just the same connected between the means and the end as there is between the seed and the tree. Internationalism. Gandhiji is not only a nationalist but he is also an internationalist. He wanted a world which would be based on peace and cooperation. According to him, there should be a world organization based on the principle of non-violence. It should be represented by all countries be who believed in non-violence. Religion and politics. Since Gandhiji believes in truth and non-violence, he considers politics to be closely connected with the religion. According to him, there is no politics without a religion. The method of ahimsa and satyagraha cannot be used in a successful way unless it is based on a religion. According to him, the true religious attitude means voluntary acceptance of Swadharma. He also desires performance of selfless service according to the principles of the Bhagavad Gita. Swaraj, this means self-rule. For Gandhiji, it has several meanings. Firstly, it means national revelation, and in the case of a country, it meant an end to the British rule. The term Swaraj also means the condition of human life in an ideal society in which everyone has the capacity to resist the abuse of authority. In this case, Swaraj means the role of complete social justice, equality, and freedom. Swadeshi Swadeshi, which means indigenous or homemade. Gandhiji used Swadeshi as one of his techniques in the non-cooperation movement. It is one of the important features of Gandhism that seeks to improve the Indian economy. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം evaluate the significance of democracy in contemporary political process. Assess major challenges facing democracy as form of government. ഇത് 15 മാർക്കിന് ചോദിക്കാം. Democracy is a form of government in which people's participation is of primary importance. People may participate either directly or indirectly. It is a form of government in which people have equal opportunity, and this type of government is based on individual merit and no place of hereditary privilege is to be found in democracy. Distribution of opportunities is adopted for reduction or removal of inequalities. Democracy recognizes that all the sections of the community will receive their due shares. Interests of the minorities will be duly protected, and state makes arrangements for that. All the public offices and opportunities are opened to everyone, and to fill the posts, public examinations are held. There is also open competition on in which every eligible citizen has the right to participate. It is a system of government which does not make any discrimination on the basis of caste, religion, sex, birth, etc. In democracy, all must have the scope of govern or to be a member of government. Rulers are to be accountable to the ruled, and forms of accountability are many. Rules are to be chosen by the ruled. People shall have the right to decide who would rule them. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം define public opinion and point out its importance in a democracy. ഈ ചോദ്യം 15 മാർക്കിന് ചോദിക്കാം. Public opinion is the collective opinion on a specific topic or voting intention relevant to society. It is the people's view on matters affecting them. Importance of public opinion in a democracy. Listening is essential in a democracy. People have a right to be heard by their representatives. That is what legitimizes democracy in the public eye and builds trust in government and its institutions. The functioning of a stable society is impossible without the means of free flowing two-way communication, talking and listening with openness to the other's point of view. Public opinion can act as a check on leadership, as the members of the public can express their dissatisfaction with the politicians who refuse to take their opinions into account and vote them out of office. Presenting the views of the mass public to government leaders who are making decisions that will affect society. Leaders often monitor the public pulse when making policy decisions, especially when they face an election campaign. The following are the major agencies of public opinion: press, newspapers, periodicals, magazines. Legislature is formed by the elected representatives of the people. Public meetings and rebates. Public meetings as such are agencies for the formulation of public opinion. Political parties. Political parties are the agents of political education, radio, TV, and internet. Educational institutions. Religious institutions. Man's political views are also influenced by his religious view. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം. Describe the tenets of Marxism or what is Marxism? Describe the principles of Marxism. ഇത് 15 മാർക്കിനോ 4 മാർക്കിനോ ചോദിക്കാം. ഓരോ പ്രിൻസിപ്പൽസും 2 മാർക്കിനോ 1 മാർക്കിനോ ചോദിക്കാം. The theory of socialism explained by Karl Marx and Engels is known as Marxism, communism or scientific socialism. The basic principles and policies of Marxism are given in Das Kapital and Communist Manifesto. Marxism or communism is the theory of transition of society from capitalism to socialism. The essential principles of Marxism may be mentioned as follows. Dialectical materialism. The word dialectics is originally taken from the Greek word diago, meaning dialogue or discussion. Karl Marx borrowed this idea from Hegel. According to Hegel, the universe and society are subjected to the law of change, and change takes place through the reaction or the contraction of thesis and antithesis. Marx accepted the Hegelian dialectics by substituting materialism for Hegel's idealism. Marx believed that the struggle of opposite classes provided the means for social progress. Historical materialism. It is also known as materialistic or economic interpretation of history. This is the application of dialectical materialism to the study of social development. Here, the main argument of Karl Marx is that the economic forces create the history of people. The means of production and the relations of production provides stuff that makes the story of social change. According to Marx, the particular mode of production or economic structure at any time determine the nature of the social organization. This is true of feudalism as well as capitalism. Class war. According to Karl Marx and Engels in the Communist Manifesto, The history of all the hither to existing society is the history of class struggle. Surplus value or theory of surplus value. The cliff between the selling price of the product of labor and actual wages paid to the labor is called surplus value. This surplus value is appropriated by the capitalist class which grows richer and richer. Social revolution, the poverty, misery and widespread unemployment amount of the working class will intensity the class struggle. Ultimately, it will make a social revolution inevitable. The revolution will destroy capitalism and place establishes the socialist order. Dictatorship of proletariat. The destruction of capitalism will be followed by the dictatorship of proletariat. This is to stabilize and consolidate the results of the revolution. It will confiscate all private capital and put an end to all remaining of capitalism. Weathering away of the state. Marx regarded the state as an engine of capitalist oppression after the destruction of capitalism. The state is unnecessary. Hence, the state will weather away in the end and a new classless society will be established. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം വാട്ട് ആർ ദ അഡ്വാൻറ്റേജസ് ആൻഡ് ഡിസ്അഡ്വാൻറ്റേജസ് ഓഫ് ഡെമോക്രാറ്റിക് സിസ്റ്റം? ഈ ചോദ്യം 15 മാർക്കിന് ചോദിക്കാം. Merits of democracy. It gives special attention to the interest of the common man. Thus, democracy is considered to be the best form of government. It is based on equality and supports the principle of liberty. All citizens are considered equal and there is no detention on the basis of caste, creed, or religion. Also, the amount of liberty which individuals enjoy in a democracy is not found in any other form of government. It is based on public opinion. Democracy provides maximum opportunity to the people in self government. The representatives of the people run the administration in a democracy. The legislature makes laws. According to public interest, the Council of Ministers is responsible to the House of People. It minimizes the chance of revolution because public opinion is respected in it. Special attention is given to welfare of the people. No particular class is given any special rights. Everybody gets equal opportunity for self-development. Impartial election takes place periodically and opposition parties get full opportunity to express their opinion freely. Thus, the opposition party do not feel the necessity of removing the government by a revolution because they can be changed through election. It gives political education to the people. In a democracy, every adult has the right to vote at the time of election. The workers of political parties take the voters to polling station and tell them about the way to cast vote. In this way, people received training in a democracy. When there are debates in the legislature or in gallery or parliament, people can go to the visitors gallery and listen to debate. The merits of democracy. Democracy gives more importance to the quantity rather than quality. Political parties spoil the harmonious atmosphere and chances of corruption increase. Sometimes government is not stable in a democracy, especially in a multi-party system. Local issues are given more importance in a democracy, which may go against the national interest. Thus, the general interest of the nation is ignored for the sake of local advantages. To conclude, although democracy is not free from limitations, but still it is better than other forms of government. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം enumerate basic principle of liberalism or what are the characteristics of liberalism or what are the elements of liberalism. ഇത് 15 മാർക്കിനോ 4 മാർക്കിനോ ചോദിക്കാം. The main elements or principles or values of liberalism are individualism. Individualism is the central idea or theme of liberalism. It believes that the interests or welfare of the individual should be given primacy over all other values and principles. Freedom. Another important core value, principle, or element of liberalism is freedom. To the liberals, it is the value of supreme importance because without it, the individual will simply be a unit without any dignity. Reason. Liberalism harbors upon reason. To put it in other words, liberalism and reason are inseparable from each other. Tolerance. Tolerance is another value or element of liberalism. In society, there is found different opinions, religious sets or communities of belief and faith. Consent. Consent is another value or element of liberalism. The idea of consent, though very old, its modern appearance took place in the hands of the contractualists. Constitutionalism. Constitutionalism is an important principle or value or element of liberalism. It has two meanings, narrow and broad. In its narrow meaning, constitutionalism means certain limitations upon the government specified by constitution. In broader sense, it implies values, principles and ideas which act as guide to the government. Equality. Liberalism is based on another principle and it is equality. Justice. Though justice is a principle of both socialism and liberalism, the latter gives it more importance and politically declares that the very basis of liberalism is justice. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം എക്സ്പ്ലെയിൻ ദ ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് ടൈപ്സ് ഓഫ് ലിബറലിസം. ഈ ചോദ്യം 4 മാർക്കിന് ചോദിക്കാം. ഓരോ ടൈപ്സും 2 മാർക്കിനോ 1 മാർക്കിനോ ചോദിക്കാം. ഏർലി ലിബറലിസം. Government cannot interfere with people's rights unless allowed. If this continues, the people can dissolve the government. People must give their permission before the government can exercise power, which is the beginning of more liberal democracies. Classical liberalism, based primarily on the idea of freedom as promoted by Mill. Freedom would maximize human progress by promoting innovation, creativity, and self fulfillment. Social Darwinism took Darwin's views on evolution and applied them to social theory with Herbert Spencer using the phrase survival of fittest, as we are all unequal in abilities. New liberalism developed in the 80s 70s. This idea fought to be different from dominant idea of the time where selfishness and pursuit of individual were of paramount importance. Capitalism and industrialization had caused many social problems that needed tackling. Large parts of society needed help to benefit from classical liberalism's economic ideas. Welfarism, as a part of coalition government in 1940, William Beveridge, a liberal, was given the job of creating welfare state. He saw liberty as removing the deprivations of poverty, unemployment, and a lack of education. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം മെൻഷൻ ദ കീ എലമെന്റ്സ് ഓഫ് എ ഡെമോക്രാറ്റിക് ഗവൺമെന്റ്. ഈ ചോദ്യം 2 മാർക്കിനോ 1 മാർക്കിനോ ചോദിക്കാം. പാർട്ടിസിപ്പേറ്റിംഗ് ഇൻ ദ ഡെമോക്രാറ്റിക് പ്രോസസ് ഓഫ് ദ കൺട്രി. Different levels of participation in the democracy of the country. Conflict resolution, equality and justice. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം ഹൗ ഈസ് റൈറ്റ്സ് ആൻഡ് ഡെമോക്രസി റിലേറ്റഡ്? ഈ ചോദ്യം 2 മാർക്കിന് ചോദിക്കാം. The values of freedom, respect for human rights, and the principle of holding periodic and genuine elections by universal suffrage are essential elements of democracy. In turn, democracy provides an environment for the protection and effective realization of human rights. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം പോയിന്റ് ഔട്ട് ദ ഫങ്ഷൻസ് ഓഫ് മീഡിയ ഇൻ എ ഡെമോക്രസി. ഈ ചോദ്യം 2 മാർക്കിന് ചോദിക്കാം. It provides information to individuals to make their own decisions. The monetarial role involves practices such as publishing reports, agendas and threats, reporting political, social and economic decisions, and shedding light to public opinion. The media plays a very important role in a democracy in providing news and discussing events taking place in the country and the world. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം വാട്ട് ആർ ദ എസെൻഷ്യൽ ഫീച്ചേഴ്സ് ഓഫ് റെപ്രസെൻറ്റേറ്റീവ് ഡെമോക്രസി? ഈ ചോദ്യം 4 മാർക്കിനോ 2 മാർക്കിനോ ചോദിക്കാം. Representative democracy or indirect democracy is when people choose to vote for who will represent them in a parliament. This is the most common form of democracy found across the world. Its emphasis lies on protecting the rights of not only the majority of the people in the state but also the minorities. By electing a more qualified representative, a minority population would be able to vocalize its grievances in a more efficient manner. Most of the representative democracies of the world consider themselves to be liberal democracies. This is because they value the needs of their individual citizens more than that of the entire state. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം, write a note on various direct democratic devices or direct democracy. ഈ ചോദ്യം 2 മാർക്കിനോ 1 മാർക്കിനോ ചോദിക്കാം. A direct democracy is when citizens get to vote for a policy directly without any intermediate representatives or houses of parliament. If the government has to pass a certain law or policy, it goes to the people. They vote on the issue and decide the fate of their own countries. The people can even bring up issues themselves as long as they have a substantial consensus on issue. Even taxes cannot be raised without the public support. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം, വാട്ട് ഈസ് പാർട്ടിസിപ്പേറ്ററി ഡെമോക്രസി? ഈ ചോദ്യം 2 മാർക്കിനോ 1 മാർക്കിനോ ചോദിക്കാം. The exact opposite of an authoritarian democracy is the participatory form of democracy. There are different types of participatory democracy, but all of them earn to create opportunities for all members of a population to make meaningful contributions to the decision making process. It empowers the disempowered by breaking up the state into small networks and prefers to empower community based grassroots politics. It values deregulation and discussion rather than merely voting. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം, വാട്ട് ആർ ദ ഡിഫറെൻറ്റ് ടൈപ്സ് ഓഫ് ഡെമോക്രസി? ഈ ചോദ്യം 2 മാർക്കിന് ചോദിക്കാം. ഡയറക്റ്റ് ഡെമോക്രസി, റെപ്രസെൻറ്റേറ്റീവ് ഡെമോക്രസി, പ്രസിഡൻഷ്യൽ ഡെമോക്രസി, പാർലമെൻ്ററി ഡെമോക്രസി, അതോറിറ്റേറിയൻ ഡെമോക്രസി, പാർട്ടിസിപ്പേറ്ററി ഡെമോക്രസി, ഇസ്ലാമിക് ഡെമോക്രസി, സോഷ്യൽ ഡെമോക്രസി. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം, റൈറ്റ് എ നോട്ട് ഓൺ ലിബറലിസം. ഈ ചോദ്യം 2 മാർക്കിനോ 1 മാർക്കിനോ ചോദിക്കാം. Liberalism is a group of political, social, and economic theories that centers on the values of individual liberty, equality, economic freedom, limited and democratic government, and the rule of law. According to theorists, liberalism is a political ideology whose main concern is to protect and enhance the liberty of individuals. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം, political parties are essential institutions in a democracy. ഈ ചോദ്യം 2 മാർക്കിന് ചോദിക്കാം. Political parties set their programs. During elections, they prepare their manifestos and present them before the people. Through them, people come to know the national problems and then form their own opinions. Political parties help in the formulation of public opinion. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം, വാട്ട് ഈസ് ഗാന്ധിസം? ഈ ചോദ്യം 1 മാർക്കിന് ചോദിക്കാം. The body of ideas and ideals that Mahatma Gandhi practiced and preached is called Gandhism. It is a holistic ideology. It covers all aspects of human life, that is, political, economic, social, educational, spiritual, nutritional, and ecological, etc. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം, വാട്ട് ഈസ് ഡെമോക്രസി? ഈ ചോദ്യം ഒരു മാർക്കിന് ചോദിക്കാം. ഡെമോക്രസി ലിറ്ററലി മീൻസ് റൂൾ ബൈ ദ പീപ്പിൾ. It is a system of government by the whole population or all the eligible members of a state, typically through elected representatives. The term democracy is taken from the Greek word demos and kratia. Demos means the people and kratia means rule or power. അടുത്ത ചോദ്യം, ടു മേജർ വർക്ക്സ് ഓൺ മാർക്സിസം. ഈ ചോദ്യം ഒരു മാർക്കിന് ചോദിക്കാം. ദ കമ്മ്യൂണിസ്റ്റ് മാനിഫെസ്റ്റോ ആൻഡ് ഡസ് ക്യാപിറ്റൽ. Wish you all the best. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe, like, comment and share the video if you liked it. Please refer for module 4 Political Science in my next YouTube video.